playoff games you've ever coached. I mean, that game had it all. Just how proud are you of the fact that you guys hung with that and we were able to finish it off?
Yeah, we did hang on for a bit there. It was a great hockey game. The flows were back and forth, and I mean the overtimes. Obviously, there's some unbelievable looks and great saves, and the hockey game had everything. So yeah, we're happy the way that we held our composure and all that good stuff that everybody talks about in the playoffs. We did it tonight. We got to do it again.
Dean, what were just your impressions about the Dumba hit on Pavelski and just kind of how it resulted and what it did?
Yeah, you never want to see that, right? I mean, I don't care who you're playing against, or you don't want to see anybody get hurt. But I'm glad that we have video review because it looks like he hits him in the head, but obviously if you watch it, the stick hits him, and so obviously we believe they got it right, but you still don't like to see anybody lay on the ice like that.
Dean, everyone said you guys have been playing playoff hockey for months now, and you've really fine-tuned your game to adapt, but to still weather the highs and lows and the ebbs and flows of the game, how impressed were you that they asked for playoff hockey, they got playoff hockey?
Yeah, and we talked a lot about handling the situations, and there was a lot of situations in this hockey game that our group had to handle. So it's a good first step. That is ultimate playoff hockey. I mean, the way that everybody, their team, our team, was competing was the way the game should be played.
Dean, it was his first playoff game. What did you learn about your goaltender, Philip Gustafson, tonight?
It's pretty good, right? I mean, their goalie was fantastic. Our goalie was fantastic. It was some of the saves that both of them made. It was like nobody's going to score, right? He conducted himself very well.
Dean, you talked about the hit, but just how impressed were you of the way that Matt Dumba was able to kind of hold his composure? He's getting booed every time he touches the puck and puts in his best game, and I don't even know how long.
Yeah, I don't, once you're in that arena, I don't think you hear too much, right? I mean, they're so focused. They're professionals. He's a professional, just kept going about his business, and happy the way that, they took some runs at him, and he just stayed the course and, held his composure. And obviously, we didn't need another power play against us. He did a good job staying disciplined.
Dean, obviously Brock Favors, a week ago, he was in college playing in the Frozen Four, and obviously playing key minutes in double overtime in that play there too. What do you think about his first playoff game and that play in particular on Marchment?
Yeah, the stick on puck there, and ramped it over the net. We're talking about him in the room of how composed he was and how kind of slippery he is. It looked like there was some times where he was going to maybe lose a puck or, not get it out or what have you. And he just competes, and he's got a lot of strength to him for a young man, and skates very well. And he certainly didn't look out of place, right?
Him, Gus, and Sam Steele, it was their first playoff game, but none looked unfazed. Why do you think that they were able to all come in and have an impact on this game, a big effect?
Well, I think what you just mentioned earlier, Sarah, is that they've been playing like that for a while now, right? I mean, we've had to grind for a while to even get to this point, right? And a couple months ago it was touch and go if we were even going to make the playoffs. So they've been grinding away. They've been hopefully this is the first step, and we've learned some along the way here, some valuable stuff that we're using now, or at least tonight, to our advantage.
The two PKs, you gave up 2 goals in 9 seconds, and yet you have 3 huge PKs the rest of the game that probably won you the game. How did you respond? And you mentioned also doing it again. Like, how do you get energy back in these guys after a game like that?
Well, both teams are the same, right? So, you look at the minutes. I mean, the guys got to do what they need to do to recover and, play tomorrow. Obviously, it's at that point. But the composure, and again, those 2 goals go in, it's like, there's no letdown. It's just, and that's what our group's done all year. And we've talked about that before with hockey teams that, there's a sag when something negative happens. Our team doesn't have that in us, in them. And so they just keep going. And, we obviously knew we were going to kill some more penalties, and the Killers did a great job.
Thanks, Steve.